In today's video, we're going to be removing the RB26 from my R32 GT-R. I know I've been talking about it for a couple of months, but I'm finally up to the point and feeling motivated to get the job done. So guys, we have the R32 GT-R on the garage today, and as you can see, the engine is up and out. I tell you what guys, I was pretty excited after I got the engine out. I did a little dance, which I'll put that up here for you guys. Really didn't film as much as I was anticipating with the process of removing the engine, but there's lots of YouTube videos on there that show you how to do that. And I had a couple of my good buddies come over yesterday, and here's the RB26. Really good look at those engine slingers. So just OEM from Nissan, goes right to the rear bracket for the water and or for the boost and coolant line, and it works pretty good. Just comes right up. This boom is almost perfect width here, so it's not putting any like side pressure. It pulls mostly straight up. And then coming over here in front of the head here, it just connects just like that. All pretty simple, works really good. If you don't have a set of these, you can get them a whole set on Terra Firma or TFA Speed for like around $50. I also picked up a new wide-angle lens for my Sony 4K camera. Let me know if you guys like today's footage. This thing gives you about a 27% wider perspective with a little bit of focus and sharpness is lost, and there's no distortion. I'm trying to milk this thing to make it last as long as I can before going mirrorless. So let me know what you guys think of the footage through this. Testing the lens. This is with no lens, arm fully extended for a good vlog. Okay, so this is with the new lens on, and this is arm fully extended. We can see the room behind me. Let's see if there's any borders or any issues. Yeah, but it is possible to get the engine out. I don't think I could have done it by myself because I needed somebody else to shake it back and forth while I was jacking the jack up and down. And then I was also adjusting the transmission down below to try to get those splines here in the perfect alignment so this could push out and away from the center shaft here. Without my buddy helping me, I don't think I could have done it. I would have just been jiggling and wiggling all day with nothing happening. Here we go, we almost have it up and out. Thanks to my buddies, Rod and Tyler. Tyler used to work at an actual service center as a mechanic. That's what he did full time. So let's jack it.
Oh, hold up.
So we gotta dismount the motor mount here. The hardest part, we're getting these two bolts off the bell housing from the transmission down here. Plus my tools suck, I guess, which I thought my tools were good. They're not.
I don't have friends. I got family.
They just have their, like, I just see the thing today. We're having a sale. I've seen that every day a sale.
Every day is 50% off day.
Alright. Keep jacking.
Go.
You sure went to vacuum lines over here, Josh?
We get to disconnect?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on, Ron. Go. No, that goes to the transmission.
Yeah, so we need to go
Yeah,
down
don't jack it anymore.
I'm trying to
there. Go down there and
level
find
trace
out.
it.
It's probably like the speed sensor.
Yeah.
Because it's a manual, so there's no real sensors. But you need to find out where that goes. Maybe drop it down a tiny bit.
I'm just trying to level it because that's the part of it is it's starting to get high in the back because we had that thing on. Almost got it centered.
Just laying it, Josh.
Right there.
Underneath the car, just to show you where those sensors are, they're just right off the transmission, just tucked up underneath here. So yeah, there they go. They're just up there kind of tight. And I pulled the little drive shaft out from on the other side of this cross member so I can have room to get my hand on this side and the front side, which helped. There's underneath for the transmission. This one you could easily press to get off. This one was the hard one because you can't press that switch down. You had to put a little flathead in here and like physically pry it up. That's where I was stuck. And I was laying down here in this all oil and grease. I had gear oil from the Diff. I had coolant from the engine, so I was kind of sopped in it. And there's not a lot of space, as you guys can see down here.
Pour
Cardboard down.
in your hair.
I hate that shit. I hate the taste of it.
Oh yeah, that's pretty bad.
It's kind of sweet though.
Yeah. I got a full shot of gasoline once.
Did you?
Yeah.
How was that? So you trying to siphon?
Yeah, I was trying to suck gas for fun. I was trying to make a dollar on the side. Suck some gas.
You guys want to go out to lunch after this?
Ramos just wanted to prove a point too. I was actually glad Ramos did that. I forgot about Molly on. Crazy.
Let's see how much crane height we got.
Well, air outs here, we'll just lift it up the rest of the way. What a stupid design.
What a fucking bitch, dude.
This is gonna be our only clearance issue.
No, they'll be alright.
No,
We can always lower the car.
This
too.
thing will go like probably another 3 inches on the.
Should we do something with that harness? That's covered in fluid.
Here we are. Thanks to my friends here. The last little holdup was the Speedo cable to the transmission right there that were really big pain in the ass to get off. But that's it. Let's keep jacking it up. You ready?
Yeah.
What did it take us? We started at noon. So 3 hours from the time that I had.
4 now.
So yeah, 4 hours from the time I had my drive shafts out to get to this point.
ATS.
Going down, $2,700. They only charged me $500 to do the install. I thought that was a pretty good deal. Ready?
Yeah.
Because they smoked it. That thing's rated for a lot of power, right?
Hold up.
Yeah, like 1,500.
Just leave it there.
Yeah.
You got a clutch alignment tool?
No. And really the only thing that was challenging that we got hung up on the back side of the bell housing, these two bolts that go in here basically are right along the firewall, and you only have about that much room between the head to try to reach down there. So we got hung up on those for about 45 minutes. The other thing that was really hard for us to get off is the little drive shaft here. But just getting this little half shaft out, these the hardware on these, I just couldn't get them to easily come off. They were just all, I don't know, they don't look rusted, but I was using a forged wrench on there because there's not a lot of space. So this is the issue I was having just getting this little tiny front drive shaft off, is you can't fit a socket in here because it doesn't fit. It's too tight. You can't get a wobble socket in there to get a good grip on it. You can't get a normal like wrench because it won't fit. It's too tight as well. So then you're stuck using like just a normal wrench and getting like just a little bit of a grip on it. And so you guys can just see there's just really no room to really get in there. So I didn't watch any real videos about taking this stuff apart. I like to figure out things kind of as I go along the way. I watched Godzilla's a little bit as far as like pulling the engine away from the transmission in the engine bay. But beyond that, I like to figure it out as I go. I think it's kind of fun, like a puzzle. Yeah, we were stuck there for about 40 minutes, stuck on these two nuts for a little while. Beyond that, you can see everything that's just disconnected. So just all the sensors and vacuum lines, water lines that go up to the firewall, to the heater core. I think Nissan could have done here on the heater core inputs. I don't like the fact that these are plastic. They can become brittle over time and break. I wish that those were metal fittings. What do you guys think? So I've got the harness here. We had to disconnect that so you have room to raise the engine up and out. So just disconnect the little bracket, set it off to the side. Throttle cable. There was one other wire that we forgot to disconnect. We didn't catch it till the end, and it's this guy here. I think that's for the high cast for the four-wheel steering. That's like a sensor input on the rack, so it can tell the rear steering wheel to work. That's my guess. Don't quote me on that. Another few lines, one here. And then the boost, there's like boost control lines as well, which are down here. So just these few vacuum lines to the bottom of the intake plenum. Fuel lines here. Starter and everything. The ground disconnected. And yeah, that's it. The one thing we were hung up on is the sub harness from the car here. They got this Speedo. So this went down to the transmission. And these were really hard to get to, and I think you can take the sub harness out somehow. It's just kind of buried in here, so I'm gonna have to, as I disassemble, I'll have to look more into that. But yeah, I mean, as far as all the inputs to the engine, you can see there's really not that many. So you got your fuel lines here, you got a vacuum line, you got a water line, another line, a few connectors. This is a looks like an oil pressure gauge of some kind here. Yeah, so that's like oil pressure, I think, that went to my old Omari sensor that's in the car. The other thing we got hung up on is trying to get the spline drive to come off of the clutch. So there's video of us just shaking the engine back and forth, basically trying to get it to come forward. It was stuck on the spline drive. So once we got that forward, it basically was able to lift up and out. Yeah, so I got to go to the hardware store today. I need to get some bolts that will fit here so I can get the engine on the stand. I need to take the clutch off, and then I'll start organizing this stuff, disassembling the engine and just kind of laying it out on the table. Probably need to organize my shelves and everything over here a little bit better. I just got stuff kind of randomly placed everywhere. So you get the alternator, starter, just all kinds of just crap everywhere. Thing looks pretty dirty. Oil separator, engine mount. I think I threw it away, but the engine mount, I had another broken engine mount as well. So I was feeling weird vibration from the track last summer. Almost when I'd like shift hard between gears, and it was like a drivetrain shock. This engine mount was broken. I'd already replaced that one the year before, and that one was fine. So I think I'm going to do some polyurethane ones just so I don't have more broken engine mounts in the future. And you can see that's the drive shaft from the passenger side. I just left that there. I was able to raise right up out of the way. And then as far as removing this drive shaft, so you want to remove the sway bar, take the coilover out, loosen the tie rod end here, and the lower, what is that, like a control arm or a transverse link or whatever, this big piece, that ball joint, you just take that off. The first time I did, I removed the front diff cover and pried it out from the inside. That's not necessary. If you look, let's see if I get a zoom on it. Right there, that little lip, long flathead, right up to that lip. And if you give it a good whack, it will just pop loose. Front drive shaft. When I pulled this drive shaft out, I should have just popped the drain plug on this, because when I was tilting the engine around and moving it all around, I was spewing hypoid gear oil all over the floor, which made a freaking huge mess. I was laying in that, I was laying in coolant, and those are some of the other reasons that I didn't film or record, because I had crap all over my hands. I was covered in crap in my hair and all over my clothes, so I didn't feel like filming. See, we were able to leave the power steering and air conditioning in the car. I'm not sure what I want to do. I want to repaint the engine bay, but I might be getting too far ahead of my ability. I don't know. I mean, I know I could take all this stuff apart. I just don't know if I could put it all back together, unless I'd have to document everything with really good detail and video to do that. But it'd sure be nice to paint the engine bay. I'd like to do a high cast delete and get rid of the four-wheel steering to the rear. Get rid of all this extra lines that aren't necessary. Pull down the cross member, get that repowder coated. I think that'd be really cool. Let me know what you guys think. I do have UB Garage local, so I know Doug and Eric and Matt, you know, those guys can give me advice along the way and help me out. And Doug already told me, hey, swing by the shop, I'll give you some pointers for when you go to reinstall the engine. So I'm gonna probably go visit there and pick Doug's brain a little bit. Get the clutch, pretty cool. I haven't seen this in person. But yeah, just a bunch of little Allen bolts. Get this taken off. And I'm gonna need a clutch key. I don't have one of those yet either. So I can realign it, put it back on. Super excited about all this stuff over here, especially with the turbos, to be able to work on this stuff all out in the open. It's gonna be a real treat. I mean, you guys saw how much I struggled installing and removing the turbos a couple times. And to have the ability to just put the thing up on a stand and work on it and tinker and set everything out on the table. I'm gonna take my time and just try to enjoy myself the best I can. But here's a good look at the 2-ton Harbor Freight crane, Pittsburgh or whatever. I did have the 1-ton and I measured it all out before I was gonna get started, and it wasn't gonna have enough reach. I would have had to take the front bumper off, and it still probably wouldn't have had enough reach because the beam was only getting to about here and it needed to be back here. So yeah, this had plenty of reach. It had plenty of height. We took the engine out of the car with the car jacked up this high, and it had no problem with lift at all. Easily cleared it. And as far as when we broke the spline drive here from the clutch away from the bell housing into the transmission, what we ended up doing is, in order to transfer the weight forward, the way this thing works is you spin it and it kind of transfers the weight of the engine either to the front or back as this thing moves along the hoist piece. So that got us to get the engine more forward, and then we just basically pulled, wiggled, and popped it right out. That probably took us another half hour. So we kind of fumbled around there as well as here, and then those drive shaft bolts, and then getting these stupid sensors unplugged underneath was just a pain in the ass. But now that I know that what I'm doing, I could probably do it in half the time. So just kind of a little recap, kind of where I'm at. I'm definitely gonna document as much as I can, so I'll do a whole video of just taking apart the intake plenum and disassembling that, everything that's involved. I'm gonna be learning along the way, so I'm just gonna kind of film it for myself. And then I'll film removing the turbos with the engine on the stand, which is gonna be really cool. Then we'll take the head off, do all that stuff as well. Take off the clutch. I'm not a master mechanic or anything like that, and this video is not really giving you guys advice. It's just sharing kind of the experience of what I'm going through, and I hope you guys enjoy it. My buddy Tyler, he's gonna help me. He said he wants to come over and help me do it all, so that's really nice because he's rebuilt engines, he's pulled engines, he worked at a shop professionally for a living for, I think, about 5 years. So it's going to be nice to have his knowledge, and he's got a ton of tools. We're going to probably, we're talking about redoing the air conditioning, upgrading it from R12 to R134A. So we're going to probably do that, and just a bunch of other things. It's going to just take time, so you guys be patient. Guys, if you like the video, give me a thumbs up. Leave me some comments down below. Let me know what you guys think of the project, kind of the direction of the channel, what we got going on. I'm super excited. I had the last 7 days off. Today's actually day 6, but my goal was I wanted the engine out while I was on vacation, and we got it done. So hardware off, I'm definitely going to send it all back out to, what is it, new JDM, and they can redo all this, get it all freshly zinc coated, just like UP Garage and what Tommy F. and all those guys do. And this stuff is, you know, 30 years old, 31 years old. It's looking a little crusty. It's still in pretty decent shape, but it'd be nice to definitely get it re-zinked. If I had a freaking lift out here in the garage, if I could have got the car up, you know, another 4 feet, and then I could have went to Harbor Freight Tool and bought myself like one of those lift tables. I could have done it like Tommy F. did with Dustin Williams' car. Just like UP Garage does, is you just drop the whole subframe, lower everything out with the transmission, everything all together, the engine all in one piece, which would be a lot easier than separating the transmission's bell housing and then pulling this away in the engine bay and wiggling it out. Definitely a pain in the butt, so I'm kind of dreading putting it back in when we're all done, because I know getting it back in is going to be harder than it was to pull it out. Pretty proud of myself. I The last engine I pulled was out of a 1977 Chevy Nova, and we did like a 305 to 350 V8 swap. That was super easy, and me and my buddies, we did this, like I had pretty much everything ready when they got here. We just had to do the finishing touches and get it out. To be able to do it myself in my garage with just basic tools, jacks, jack stands, nothing like too crazy, and just an engine lift. I'm definitely pretty happy and was able to save myself a lot of money by doing this myself, and it's going to help with the rebuild. So definitely think it was definitely a win for the channel. Jacks just did not have enough lift to get the car up high enough to really do anything, and they didn't have enough lifting power. This thing cranks up super fast, and I got it on sale at Harbor Freight. I mean, see how quick it goes. I got that with the engine stand. Pretty crazy, all these new tools. The biggest 2-ton lift, 3-ton floor jack, a creeper, a harmonic balancer puller, some jack stands. All this stuff is like 630 bucks including tax. This was on sale for like $12.99, a stupid price, so I bought that too. But I got everything for like 600 bucks, including tax, with the big engine crane, the nice big jack, and all those little accessories. So I was pretty happy, and yeah, I'm excited to get more tools. That made this job so much easier. And this is how we had the height of the chain and pretty much everything. Try to keep it about as low as we could to have the most lifting height to get it up and out. So, yeah. I've got issues with the Lexus right now. It's starting and stalling. After about 30 seconds of it idling, it would just stall, and now it won't even start anymore at all. Tried hooking up a couple of OBD computers to it and trying to see if there was any fault codes, but the ECU is not found on the OBD2 access port, which kind of sucks. So gonna start going through and doing some electrical checks, and yeah, kind of sucks. Definitely a little frustrating the Lexus isn't running, and I'm gonna probably have to pay some money into that, which kind of frustrates me because I'm trying to, you know, put some money into this and money over here, and I wanted to buy the WRX, so that may slow my progress on this, but I will get it done, guys. Stay with me, subscribe, and let's do the journey together. Anyway, guys, that's gonna be it for today's video. I just wanted to kind of come around the garage with you guys and talk a little bit about where I'm at with my project, with my GT-R, and with my channel. If this is something you guys are wondering, hey, you know, can I pull the engine out in my garage in a R32, R33, R34? Yeah, you can. It's possible. It's challenging, and it takes time, but if you are willing to put in the effort, you can definitely do it yourself, save yourself some money, and have the pride of knowing, hey, you know, I did this, have that, you know, sense of ownership that you're able to complete it yourself versus paying somebody else to do it. That's what I like.